Hello there, and welcome to today's episode of Faith Children at Home. On today's episode, we're going to be talking more about Paul and one of the journeys he went on where a ship he was on just got destroyed. That's going to be in actually Acts chapter 27. And Paul uses that journey to tell us that we go through hardship in life, or we go through some things that may be difficult or challenging, but we do it because the gifts that God gives us are so much greater than any difficulty we could ever encounter. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more, but we're going to pass it off to Nolan out in the field for some quick, important announcements. Nolan?
Hello everybody, Nolan here. The couple announcements this week. Upcoming in this summer, we have both Arts Camp and Vacation Bible School on the schedule. I'll put a link to the dates and all the information you need for those in the description. Oh no, I won't do that. Noah will do that. But upcoming soon is the Big Banana Bonanza, which is going to be a summer kickoff celebration for all of the elementary kids. We're gonna have a giant water slide, some inflatables, and a whole bunch of fun field day type games to celebrate the end of the school year and the beginning of summer. And that's going to be on June 19th at 1 p.m. at the church. Hope to see you there.
Nolan, thank you so much, and thank you for tuning in from such a strange location. We always appreciate it. But guys, let's jump right into Acts chapter 27. So in this story, Paul is on a boat, and he is actually on this boat as a prisoner. He's being taken, think of it as he's being taken to a courtroom that's really far away. People think that Paul has done something wrong, and so they're taking him to this very important person where Paul is most likely going to get in a lot of trouble. So Paul is on this boat going to a place he doesn't really want to go. And although he's already on this boat going to a place he doesn't want to go, the boat now encounters a storm. And the storm starts shaking the boat. It actually starts breaking the boat. And after the boat and all the people on it start going through all this challenge and difficulty, the boat actually ends up breaking. And every person on the boat is now stranded in the water and without a boat. They end up finding this island and they go there, and there's another miraculous story that happens on that island with Paul. But we're going to be focusing more so on the journey of this boat. And Paul uses this boat in this journey to teach us that in our own lives, when we're trying to go somewhere, some things might happen that are difficult and challenging. And that doesn't mean that we should just turn around and give up. It means that we should push through that in order to, when we see this larger goal. And so Paul, let's first talk about, let's say you're in the car driving from, let's say, your house to a friend's house, or you're with your family, you're on a road trip. Maybe you're driving from your house to a baseball game or your grandma's house. You're just going somewhere. And it was supposed to be only a 20-minute drive. You're supposed to get in the car, you, your brother, and your sister, and your parents are all in the car, and you're like, it's going to be a quick 20 minutes. We're going to get there, and then we're going to have a lot of fun. But for some reason, on the way, your car gets a flat tire. And your dad has to get out, jack up the car, and then put the new tire on. Takes like 30 minutes. And then after that, there's a giant accident on the road, and then you're stuck in traffic now, and it adds another 30 minutes to the drive. And then, let's say there's a giant pack of geese. There's a giant flock of geese walking across the road, and you have to stop your car for 10 minutes just to wait for the geese to pass. Now, that's a 20-minute drive, and it actually just turned into over an hour and a half, just because of these random, unforeseen difficulties. Now, if you didn't really want to go to the place you were driving to, you could have just turned around and left. You could have just been like, you know what, we'll try this. It's clearly not my day. Try this another day. But most of these places, like going to your baseball game, going to school, going to a friend's house, these are all things that you really, really want to do. And all things that you are motivated to get to. And so no matter this cost or no matter these difficulties that arise, you will most likely continue driving in that direction so that you can hopefully get there despite all this crappy stuff that's happening. And now Paul uses this type of, like with the boat, or what my example was with this car, kind of talks about that in our lives. In our lives, we grow up and we continue growing. We can try to pursue a relationship with God the most that we possibly can be. And while we're in that pursuit and when we're trying to live the best Christian lives that we can, difficulties arise. Things that are really challenging arise. There will be situations that you run into that are really, really hard. And there might be tragedy happens that just makes you so sad that you can't even understand how that could possibly be in your life. And there's a whole lot of stuff like this that is really, really difficult to understand and comprehend. And Paul went through a lot of this type of stuff himself. In his life, he was thrown in jail, he was tormented, he was hurt, and he did it all because he really believed and really wanted other people to believe the message of Jesus Christ. And so in 2 Timothy, Paul tells us this, super quick verse, 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 10 and 11. Therefore I endure everything for the sake of the elect, that they may also obtain the salvation that is in Jesus Christ with eternal glory. That was actually just verse 10. So Paul's saying that we go through all of these challenges, all of these difficulties, all of these things that are really, really hard because we are trying to share the gospel of Jesus Christ with as many people as possible. We want them to believe the same thing that we believe. We want them to have hope in the God that we hope in. And things can be hard, but if we keep pushing, remember last episode we talked about running the race, is that when we push hard and we work towards these things, and we can go through challenge, we have community, and we have a God that is willing to do all this stuff with us. So, I hope this made sense, and if it didn't, I'd love to talk with you in person, or you're welcome to send me an email to talk about any of these topics. But thank you for watching today's episode, and I hope to see you soon. Love you all.